to continue. If you are ready,
Yeah.
so just give a hand or an icon so that I can see you are still there. I can see someone want to raise the questions, right? Um, Mr. Tùng, please.
Dạ không, em cô nói là nếu mà mình có thể tiếp tục thì mình giơ tay hoặc là thả ai
Okay, okay, right. All right. So now let me share the slide. Okay, so I hope that I can give the presentations around 45 minutes in order to save time for you to raise the questions later. Okay. To continue with Mr. Wun's topic, that is the organize some activity in the class. I now mentioned the way how can we design some material. It is not a particularly lesson plan because you study this one in teaching methodology and you also do it with teaching practice 1, teaching practice 2 already. And today I just intend to discuss with you some other way in teaching application. That I mean that we may use some technique as well as some tool to um, give materials format that suitable with the teaching objectives and teaching aims. All right, and in the presentations we have a 4 main part. The first one we confirm materials format and then introduce the web services and some multimedia resources in teaching 3 sub-skill and 4 language skill. Okay, and then we just give some example of how can we use the technologies in uh, English language teaching. First of all, when we mention of materials format, um, well, I don't know the reason why when I raise this one, I cannot see the slide runs in your part. I don't know why it doesn't run. Just a moment. Share again. Okay. All right. So when we mention of materials format, we need to consider the teaching aims and teaching objectives. So may I invite um, someone in our in our room to distinguish the differences between teaching aims and teaching objectives. Okay, so is there anyone who volunteer to show me the difference between teaching aims and teaching objectives? Okay, so we want to confirm that teaching aims, that is, what teachers intend to get after the lesson, right? And teaching objective, that is, what the student can achieve or can do after the lesson, okay? And then we also design the materials in such a way that we focus on the student, right? That means we need to describe the student very carefully, right? So that we can design the materials as well as we select the tool appropriately. And then we need to use a variety interactivity so that the student can get attention, as Mr. Wung already mentioned to you. Okay, and one more thing, that the material should be authentic. That means they should come into real life, right? That real language. Until now, some web services and multimedia resources uh, should better focus on the good founder. For example, we have a teachingenglish.org, or we have onestopenglish.com. I think the two website is the basic, and it is used for English teachers. If you haven't used the two website, I think you may consider right after the seminar today. Okay. The next one is thesaurus.com. What is it used for? Right. In thesaurus.com, we may check the synonym, the antonym, as well as the origins of the word. They also give us some example. And then we also have the easyteachers.org. Okay, what can we get from easyteachers.org? These including the resources, and we may have some activities design available, and we can bring it down in the worksheets for free. Okay, um, and later on we have an English profile. In English profile, we may have some function, such as we can analyze the text appropriate with the SIG level in CFR, right? And later on, I will pick some um, function of English profile to introduce to you today. Okay, so I think it is a very useful and familiar web services in order to design the materials for language teaching. Okay, so mention of technology and language skill learning. According to Betty Can 2010, it is not too much updated, but I think it is also available in mentioned in the age domain, right? That is the word processing, the games, literature, corpus linguistics, computer mediated communications, the web resources, or we may have a adapting all the materials for um, technologies assisted language learning. And then we have a personal digital assistant, such as the mobile phone, right? So, for example, when you use the Mentimeters, all right, so you can choose that, or you like the student to play games such as Duolingo or Kahoot, they can play it with the mobile phone, all right? However, in my experience, I don't analyze it in the eight applications like this, but it is also six domain. For example, we can use the technologies in order to prepare the materials before the class, and then how can we use the technologies in the class to manage the class activity, and then how can we follow up the students' activity? Okay, that is the three domain. Moreover, there is also use some tool in um, testing and assessment. and then